Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our virtual open house. Today, we will be showing you a video for the first portion of the open house. The video was put together over the past few weeks with the help of Mr. Fernandez and several of our students and several of our faculty in anticipation of this virtual open house during these unprecedented times. After the video, or at the conclusion of the video, we will actually have a question and answer session where you will have an opportunity to put questions in the comment section in this YouTube page, and we will be able to see it in the platform that we're actually using. I want to thank Mr. Fernandez for all of his hard work, Lou Libetz, who is the video production teacher over at the East Brunswick Tech School, for loaning us all the equipment to do this. All the students and faculty and administration and alumni who came to help us with this. And my daughter, who has served as our editor and our producer. So enjoy the video. You're going to watch it now, and we'll see you right afterwards. Okay, welcome. Welcome to the Middlesex County Academy for Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Technologies virtual open house. I am Principal John Jeffries, and I'm delighted to tell you more about our magnificent school. Our school is considered a small learning community. Small learning communities are based on 3 R's. First is rigor. Our school is rigorous, with all of our courses being taught at the AP or honors level by individuals who are experts in their field, many of whom have come from industry. The next R is relevance. This is an engineering magnet school, and STEM is our relevance. It permeates through everything we do. The last R is relationships, which is the most important. Our students, staff, and parents develop strong relationships with each other, built on mutual trust. To find out more about our school, the website www.mcvts.net/Edison is a good place to start. In addition, our social media accounts have the most current information on what's happening at our school. Our Twitter page is at MCVTS_ACE. My Instagram is ACE_principal_JJ. And on Facebook, we have an Academy Foundation page that is used to get information and highlights out to parents. New Jersey is ranked number 1 in education in the United States, and our school is ranked number 1 in the state of New Jersey. In addition, last year we were ranked number 2 in STEM in the country, which I am most proud of, because STEM is what we do here. It's our prime directive. One new thing at the school is our makerspace, where students have the opportunity to be creative, build things, and work together to solve problems. We offer numerous AP courses here at the Academy. They include AP Calculus BC, AP Statistics, AP Physics 1, AP Language and Composition, AP Spanish, AP Literature and Composition, AP Environmental Science, and this year, AP Biology for our freshmen. For AP tests, students at our school can choose to take nearly any AP tests that they like. Last year, about 400 AP tests were administered at our school. Students did not have to go to their home districts to take them. We have a commons area in our building that serves as our lunchroom, as a location for students to gather before and after school, for large assemblies, for fun days, and for dances. For physical education, our school does not have a gym. Our students walk down about a half a mile to Middlesex County College's Physical Education Center. There they have access to racquetball courts, a large gym, a pool, a fitness center, and they have access to all the surrounding fields. For our engineering career majors, we have civil mechanical engineering, and we have electrical computer engineering. Freshman students will have a quarter of each as an exploratory course. Halfway through the year, they will be placed in one or the other based on their grade in the course, based on how well they did in the exploratory course, the teacher's recommendation, and what the student wants to do. We have an Academy Foundation that serves as our PTO here at the school. This parent group provides scholarships for our seniors. They manage events like our welcome picnic for the new freshmen, international night around the holidays, and an alumni panel in January. They also provide mini grants for our students who need financial support to hold events and contests. Enjoy the remainder of our virtual tour as you hear from our engineering teachers, alumni, current students, and new students.
It is great to be recognized as the top school in New Jersey by U.S. News & World Report, particularly since there are so many outstanding high schools in New Jersey. It's even more satisfying to be named one of the top STEM schools in the nation, since our motto here is that we put the E in STEM. As educators, we know, however, that rankings do not give a total picture of a school. In the best case, they may give a sense of how college ready the graduates of a school will be by looking at certain measures like AP scores. But there's so much more to being an Academy student. For this reason, we think that it's vitally important that you hear from some of our faculty, students, and alumni before making the decision whether the Academy is right for you.
So in middle school, I was really stuck between applying to the Woodbridge Academy for Allied Health and Biomedical Sciences and this academy, which is more engineering based. And as a kid, I was pretty sure I wanted to be a doctor. And so it's a wonder why I came here versus there. But I spent the time to talk to people who went to both academies. And I feel like there was a real passion for math and for engineering, that when you just talk to people who went to this school, you could tell that they were really interested in the subject. And I kind of wanted to feel what that was like. So I picked this one over Woodbridge. Honestly, I think it was the people here. I've made some of the strongest friendships I've ever had at the academy. And I think my passion for math, for science, for computer science, I think it's strengthened because I was surrounded by people who really, really loved what they were doing. One of the big things in the academy is that you're suffering a little bit, but you're suffering together. And I never felt like there was any toxic competition between me and my peers. Like, we always support each other and we're always striving for each other to do better. And I think that in every single aspect of the academy is what made it so great. So I'm currently a junior studying business analytics, information technology, and biomath, and I'm minoring in computer science. And a lot of that is related to passions that started at the academy. I got really into math when I was here, and I got really into computer science and hackathons when I was studying at the academy. Something that I learned from the academy was time management. I was involved in a lot of extracurriculars, and I still am in college. I'm in a lot of recreational sport clubs, and I'm in social entrepreneurship clubs. And the way I manage my time is how I manage it back in the academy. So I learned a lot. I did play soccer here. I played soccer all 4 years. I was on JV for the first 3 years and varsity for my senior year. It was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, I was co-captain of our track club. It's a small track club, and I guess the main motivation was to get fit. Go to the gym, we would run around the park and do different calisthenic activities, and which goes to show you, like, yeah, this is a school for engineering and science, but there's the opportunity to explore so many other things while you're here as well. So my older sister went here, and I've met a lot of her friends, and just to see them talk about the things they did and like them being passionate about things that I wasn't always passionate about with my friends in middle school made me realize that there are people who are interested in the same things that I'm interested in, and they go to schools like the Woodbridge Academy, the Edison Academy, and that's a big reason why I applied. So I think, yeah, I definitely did feel a little bit intimidated, but I've always like to be someone who is uncomfortable. It's like I like to get myself into situations that make me uncomfortable because I think that I grow from them. I was the only girl on varsity senior year, but while I was close with the people who are on my team, it was a little nerve-wracking to go against other stranger guys who were like a lot taller than me, a lot bigger than me. But I think it helped build my confidence. And the same thing goes for math and science. There are not a lot of women in these fields, but it's on the rise. And even in like certain STEM classes that I take at Rutgers, I noticed that there's a big disparity, bigger than what's at the academy. Like, I think the academy, it was a lot more even than what it is in the real world, which is very surprising. But I think overall, because it was intimidating at first, but then you get comfortable with everyone, you learn to have confidence in yourself, and you can apply that when you go to university and when you go into the workforce.
So the biggest thing that made me choose the academy as opposed to my regular township high school was the rigorous STEM program. In middle school, I found myself really captivated by math and science and all the extracurriculars involved. And the faculty in middle school said that this might be an option for you. Although I wasn't totally set at the beginning, it was one of the best decisions I made in middle school, choosing to attend the academy, which really highlighted all those needs for science and math. The biggest highlight after attending the academy would definitely be the senior showcase and the senior proposal project. It really allowed us to take all these things that we learned throughout the years, put some mechanical effort into our learning, and finally come up with a product that nicely culminated the 4 years of learning at the academy, amongst all the other great things that we did here. The one thing that really stuck away was work ethic and dedicating yourself to real good study hours. I feel like the academy, the teachers, the curriculum, the workload here really prepared all of the graduates to attend courses at universities in the rigor that they present themselves in. A lot of students have that transition period where they attend university and there's a little bit of a gray area. But for us leaving the academy, I feel like we were so well prepared to jump into that heavier course load, and it just was a breeze adjusting to the university lifestyle. Really cherish all your engineering courses because not only do they teach you the material and how to think like that, but like an engineer, but they allow you to apply that for all your disciplines. And it's the level of thinking that really defines Academy alumni. All right.
Hi, I'm Isaac Jaramillo. I'm a senior at the Middlesex County Academy, and I'm in the mechanical engineering track. I've learned that I can do a lot more things than I thought. So, for example, in my freshman year, I did soccer mostly to stay in shape, but I learned that I'm actually not bad at it. So, before I went to the academy, I would never have actually tried soccer or any sports in general, especially in high school, because it's a very different environment here. Like, it's much more accepting than your average high school. And I also learned that I am good at math mostly because at my previous school, in my middle school, I was okay at it, mostly average, like not bad, but not the best. But this year and previous years, I've done a lot more advanced math than I would have done at my regular high school.
Hello, my name is Richard Bellotti, and I'm a senior at the Academy. I'm in the mechanical engineering track. I learned over the 4 years that no matter what, as long as I put my mind to it, I could accomplish anything. Whether it's a difficult exam coming up or getting on the varsity soccer team, as long as you work hard and work through all the problems, you can do anything. Make sure you have a passion for what you want to do here. If you don't have the passion, if you don't like what you're doing, it won't come easy and it will actually be more difficult.
We have a 4-year engineering program, perhaps unmatched by any high school in the country. We have a dedicated faculty and support staff whose commitment has only increased during the recent challenges we faced. We have a senior mentorship program where students complete an unpaid internship during the 12th grade. There, they gain workplace experience and develop soft skills that are so important in making our graduates not just college ready, but also career ready.
I want to congratulate all incoming freshmen and their parents for selecting and being accepted at the Academy. After all, we are #1 in New Jersey high schools. As you will find out through your journey at the Academy, we are not your typical school. We are not your typical teachers, and engineering is not your typical course. My name is Mr. Paterno. I am the Electronics, Computers, Engineering Technologies instructor. I am an engineer by trade for 25 years of experience as an engineer with companies such as AT&T and Lucid Technologies. I have been with the Academy since 2001. I have taught as well as an adjunct professor at Middlesex County College and NJIT in the Electrical and Computer Science departments. I have designed the ECET engineering program for grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. The program is designed to make sure that the student receives the required foundation and skill set to prepare them for the next level. The goal of the ECT program is to prepare students for college and the professional career workforce. Having the same engineering instructor throughout the entire program allows to build a better relationship between the student and the teacher, as I get to know the strengths and the weaknesses, and as such, I can provide differentiated instruction throughout the student's academic career. A strength of the Academy is the exploratory program. The objective is to expose students to 2 engineering majors and find out from the students' and instructors' perspective which major is the most compatible. This is achieved as a result of the program's rigorous design to bring to the surface the students' strengths and weaknesses of various imperative engineering skill sets. At the end of the program, the goal is to place students in one of 2 engineering majors based on their desire and performance. This is one of the most important decisions a student will make in their lifetime. The goal thereof is to have all students pursue a positive experience for the remaining time at the Academy. From its conception, the exploratory program has worked very well and has proven a good track record. We all are wired differently, and we all are destined to be successful in a particular subject area that best fits our skill set. At the end of the day, whatever the outcome of the program is, it will result in a student matriculating to the major best suited to fit his or her potentials. At the senior level, students are working on the capstone project. Students are to provide an innovative solution to solve a real-life problem, designing and implementing their product from conception to realization. The course is designed to mimic a real-world work environment and to acquire the required soft and technical skills to achieve their design. The capstone project, along with our mentorship program, provide our students readiness for their future academic and professional career. The long-term goal, if you will, is to get students ready for the future workforce. I want to thank you for choosing the Academy. I am looking forward to meet you in person this fall.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Mark Weinstein. I am the mechanical engineering teacher for the Mechanical and Civil Engineering program at the Academy for Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Technologies. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the program that we have here in mechanical engineering and the thrust of what we try and do. It's a 4-year program that starts off in exploratory with the 9th graders, where they have a chance to see how I teach and some of the key aspects of mechanical engineering. At the end of the first semester, the kids will decide, based upon what they've seen in their first marking periods, which teacher, and pick the major they want for the remainder part of their time. With mechanical engineering, we focus on engineering design process, and that gets started from day 1 when the freshmen start with their tower challenge, where they have to design a paper tower to hold as much weight as possible. In the second semester, we start looking at how the design process really progresses. We look at designing principles. We look at specifically have a design project in freshman year where they design a chocolate bar to support the school, and they have to look at the marketing of it, the graphics, packaging design, and the ingredients. They learn brainstorming, project planning, etc. These skills will be used throughout the mechanical engineering track because each year we have different design projects that the students work upon. So in sophomore year, they begin looking at how objects work together. They have a sorting project where the class is divided into teams, and they have to look at 3 main sub-assemblies that have to work together to sort a series of balls. And the impetus for this is there a design concern trying to mine an asteroid in outer space? So size is a constraint, weight, and how fast they can sort the products. In junior year, this goes into looking more at sub-assemblies, how they work together. We have a Rube Goldberg project of 3 or 4 teams where the students work together designing individual sub-assemblies that must work together. And this is all in preparation for the senior project. When the students will work in teams of 2 or 3 students and come up with a design project. It doesn't necessarily have to be a brand new one. It could be a view of doing it something differently, and it's really to demonstrate what they've learned in the 4 years at the academy. Now, it's not just working on projects. We also looked at what engineers do. We will start off with statics in sophomore year, which is a basic course in all of engineering in college that serves as a distribution requirement for non-mechanical and civil engineers, or as the basics for civil and mechanical engineers. We then build upon that with simple machines, thermodynamics, heat transfer for the sophomore year. And the junior year, we look at mechanisms, which forms a big part of their senior project, where each project will have to have some types of mechanisms, whether it's a linkage, cams, or gears. And the students have a good founding in those aspects of mechanical engineering. In the second half of the junior year, then we go back to what we're doing in statics. We'll go to the next level, looking at beam theory, column buckling. And these are advanced topics that are taught normally in the junior year of college. We're doing it junior year of high school. When the students finish the 11th grade year, they have a good founding in the basics of mechanical engineering, and it prepares them for the first 2 or 3 years of college if they so choose to go into engineering. If they choose to go in a different field, the whole program prepares them for how to manage a project, how to do presentations, how to organize their thoughts, brainstorming, etc. So it prepares them for a good life, either in engineering or outside of engineering, of working with people, working in teams, and coming up with solutions to problems that face them. So I hope this answers your questions as you may have. And if you have any more questions, you may email me. I'll be glad to answer them. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ritvik Pagaku, and I am a freshman at MCA. Well, engineering has always been my career path, which I would like to follow. And seeing as this school mainly focuses on engineering, it was just a no-brainer to come here. Well, I really like the atmosphere of the school, how it's so small, and you really get to know everyone here. It really feels like a family, and it's just a blast that we are all so close with each other.
Hi, I'm Monasi, and I'm a freshman at MCA right now. I applied to the academy because it has very specialized STEM courses and a small learning community, which allows for more attention to each student and their problems. And if they need help, everyone's there for you. I really enjoyed how all the teachers are very helpful and they want to listen to your problems. They want to know how you're doing, and they'll frequently check in with you. And all the people here are so nice, especially the upperclassmen. They really make me feel like I belong here.
Hello, and thank you for your interest in Middlesex County Academy for Science, Math, and Engineering Technologies. We hope that you are safe and healthy during the challenging times that we are currently faced with. My name is Rich Fernandez, and I'm the school counselor here at the Academy. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our counseling program and support services here. Our program is comprehensive, coordinated, and proactive. The focus is on the entire student, supporting their academic, career, and personal social development. It is a vital part of the educational experience offered to students at our school. Our counseling program also consists of integrated activities in cooperation with the entire school community. Students are encouraged to maximize success in school, achieve social competence, and are supported in their development as contributing members of society. An integral part of the program focuses on providing the knowledge and skills needed to understand and effectively cope with daily life and to develop effective decision-making skills now and in their future. We work with all students individually and in groups addressing personal concerns and school-related issues. There are organized programs in place for academic advising, career exploration, and college planning. I always tell the students, no matter what they need help with, my door is always open. We are extremely proud of our most recent graduates. The schools they are accepted to proves that 4 years of hard work and determination at the Academy truly does pay off. An example of the institutions that they were accepted to are NYU, Princeton University, Penn State, University of Southern California, Rutgers University, Georgia Tech, and UPenn, just to name a few. Our current seniors have been working hard on their college applications. They've been spending time with our English teacher, Ms. Burke, one-on-one for help with essay writing, resume building, and their cover letters. This is an example of our staff pitching in to make sure our students are given the necessary tools to succeed inside and outside the classroom. Appointments are always recommended for anyone who wishes to meet with me, but at this time, all appointments will be virtual. In order to apply to Middlesex County Academy, a student must be in 8th grade during the application season. They must successfully complete a full year of Algebra 1 by June of their 8th grade year and live in Middlesex County. All students who apply participate in a selective admissions process. The process considers middle school grades and a school-developed assessment in language arts, writing, and math. The number of applicants to the Academy has increased each year, and each subsequent year reflects strong competition for a limited number of seats. Students are offered admission after successfully completing the application process and admission test. Applications are due November 23rd. Please refer to our website for more information. Please refer to the calendar often for planned events, dates to remember, and more. We thank you again for your interest in the Academy, and we hope you enjoy the other segments on our virtual open house.
We have a wide variety of clubs that make every student's experience much more rich and enjoyable. From honor societies to competitive academic teams to service clubs, we have something for everyone. We consider extracurriculars and the leadership opportunities they provide to be an essential part of an Academy student's journey through their 4 years with us.
I want to join esports, ACSL, and Quiz Bowl. Esports interests me because I've always loved video games, and ACSL is mostly about computer science and coding, which is also one of my strong suits. And Quiz Bowl is pretty cool because you get to answer questions on a variety of topics, and you really can't do that in any other place.
Yeah, the talent shows, it was a lot of fun planning and preparing for it and like performing for everyone. We also had Culture Day the same day. It was nice to try all of these different foods. A lot of them were Indian, but it was a great experience. You got to learn more about each other's cultures. Another thing that was really fun were the dances, planning them out, and they were just like a really good time. I performed all 4 years, and junior year and senior year, I helped a lot with organizing. I was a part of the Interact Club. Oh my goodness. So I was president of the Interact Club my senior year, and we did a lot of events. But we did the talent show, and we raised a lot of money for Toys for Tots. We did Safety Ambassadors, which was a program where we helped students in elementary school learn safety around cars, when they're biking, things like that. So you have a lot of opportunities to try different things that aren't always engineering related, which is a great refresher.
One of my favorite activities, extracurricular at the Academy, was the Waxman Scholars Institute project. We took work with Dr. Ricketts and later Miss Oakley to work on analyzing our own individual protein samples. It was one of the more captivating extracurricular activities because it allowed me to stem to where I am academically now at university with biological sciences. It found that niche within the STEM community for me that allowed me to find what I truly enjoy doing. One of the things that I would add from my experience at the Academy would definitely be to take advantage of all our extracurricular activities and the small size of the school. It's very easy to build bonds, relations with all the students and faculty here, and that's something that now as a university student you really take for granted with the large sizes of classrooms.
So when joining clubs, I'm really looking to give back to the community and sort of grow as a person. And so I was thinking I'd join FBLA, Debate Club, JSA, Red Cross, or Quiz Bowl. And there are many other clubs which are pretty interesting too.
Please take the time to watch the other videos on this page. You'll hear from current students and graduates. You'll hear from our engineering faculty and gain an understanding of the specialized curriculum you'll study here. You'll also get a glimpse of our campus and facilities. We are honored and grateful that you are considering the Edison Academy as your home for the next 4 years.
Ready? Hey. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed the virtual open house and the video that was put together. We have Mr. Mosaad here with us today. We also have Mr. Fernandez, so they're going to help us with answering questions as needed. With regard to some of the comments so far, the people that actually apply to this school have to live in Middlesex County. Okay, this is a county school. It receives funding from the county, so it's important to know that your home actually needs to be in Middlesex County in order to apply. But we take students from everywhere from Cranberry, South Brunswick, all the way up to Colonia, Island, Perth Amboy, Old Bridge, West Windsor, Plainsboro. Actually, some portions of that district are actually in our sending area. So it's important to understand that. Okay. So the other question that I saw there was how many students does the school take? And there's some confusion there, I think, because we actually take 44 per year. Generally, we'll have around 400 applications for the school during a normal year, and then we'll kind of pare that down based on the admissions test, and from there we'll bring in 120-ish, 115, 120 to interview. And then from that group, we will choose 44 or 45, depending on the year. So part of this is also that every student that applies from a specific town in Middlesex, so there's 26 towns in Middlesex, at least one person from each town, no matter what their score, will be interviewed. And we found that that's really important because this is a county school. We do want to have a diversity of students actually applying to our schools. Okay, so it's 44 is really who we accept, but generally we'll take 45 with the thought that possibly one would decide that they do not want to continue to come. Okay, so let's see some additional questions. Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that one?
Sure. So usually we require 7th grade standardized test scores with your application that your school counselor would send us. Last year, obviously, due to the circumstances, New Jersey canceled standardized testing for 7th grade. So on this year's application, which is not out yet, but you will either be required to send 6th grade scores or we may omit it this year. If you are attending a private school and you have not taken the NJSLA in middle school, then you can submit other standardized test scores, anything you've taken in its place, Terra Novas or otherwise, and we're going to scale them on a similar scale as we would the state tests. And the deadline is the same. So standardized test scores should be submitted with your application.
Okay, so what if my child gets in and we move to a different place in Middlesex County? So we've had that happen multiple times where we've had students actually move within the county, and that's perfectly fine. We would just have to do a records change in Genesis, which is our student information system, to make sure that it reflects where you live and make sure that you have busing. One thing about the busing that we didn't mention in the video is that the home district actually provides the busing for you to and from the school. So you get a ride in the morning. Generally, buses start coming around 8 o'clock. Our homeroom starts at 8:45. And so they give you a ride to school. Everyone leaves at the same time at 3:30. So we have around 20 buses and vans that all kind of leave at the same time and go to different locations. There is no activity bus. So students that participate in activities during a normal school year would actually need to have a ride. What's happened is, though, a lot of the students from the same towns, the parents have actually communicated with each other to make sure that they're carpooling to kind of save the burden or reduce the burden on one individual parent for picking up students. But yeah, we have students that move from one town to another, and we understand that. If you move out of Middlesex County, however, that would be problematic. Okay, next question. Mr. Fernandez, you want to take that? I can read it if you'd like.
Yeah, please do. It's a little
Yeah.
small.
Is it true that only the top 20 kids get selected for electronics, computer science in sophomore year, depending on the interest and performance in the freshman year?
Yeah, sure. So, so all students that are accepted, they get placed into what we call the engineering exploratory program. So what that does is right in the title, you're going to explore both sides of our career majors. So we offer, in the video like you saw, we offer civil, mechanical, and electrical and computer. So each student will spend a marking period in each, and then based on how well those students did, as far as from teacher recommendations, test scores, quizzes, projects, we're all going to delegate, and we're going to place you in your best fit that we think you're going to be successful for the next 3.5 years. So it's not going to be sophomore year; it's going to be the middle of freshman year. And like Mr. Jeffries said, we accept 44, 45. So we usually want to make that as equal as we can for each section. So it's a little bit of test quizzes, teacher recommendations, like I said before, and we want to make sure that where we're going to place you is going to be a best fit for you to succeed at our school for the next 3.5 years.
And we also take into account what the student actually wants to do. But if a student is not performing well in a specific career major, then we're not going to place them in there for the next 3.5 years. It's not good for them. But we do want them to be somewhere where they're going to enjoy it. That's why we give them a chance to kind of have a taste of both, before we actually, move in. But it doesn't have to do with the top 20 students. It's really where you perform the best, but also what resonates better with you. Okay. Next question. All right, if a student is selected for this academy, what is the last date he can back out from attending? Sounds weird, but would like to know. So we actually have students backing out and deciding to change their mind on the first day of school, sometimes after the first week of school, sometimes after the first marking period of school. Generally, what's happening is, we have a wait list of, probably 40 people, and we want to make sure that we have a good mixture of students from different parts of the county, but also males and females, because engineering is underperforming, or there aren't as many females actually in engineering. So we want to make sure that we're giving opportunity for both males and females. With regard to backing out, we've had students actually start as late as their sophomore year. Okay, they came from our wait list, but we called them up and said, listen, we want you to start in sophomore year. We're going to help figure out how to make that happen for you. And we've had several students that have been very successful after starting at that point, and mid-year as well. So, we're willing to work with folks, but generally you have to go through this admissions process. You have to apply, you have to take the admissions test, and go through the interview process, and then that's kind of how we build our wait list. The wait list is not open for anyone to see, but we take a lot of things into account when we're actually looking at that. Okay, next question. Mr. Fernandez, you want to take that one? What are the requirements needed in 8th grade to be able to apply?
So you'd want to be in Algebra 1 or higher in 8th grade and eligible to apply.
Okay, and that's pretty much it, I would say.
Yeah.
You need to live in the county. You need to have had at least Algebra 1, we realize that there's some schools that do not offer geometry in 8th grade, and we have a way to kind of deal with that in that we teach the geometry over the summer before your freshman year once you're accepted. So to make sure that all students are actually starting in Algebra 2 as freshmen so that they can progress to pre-calculus as sophomores, AP Calculus BC as juniors, and then possibly move on to Calc 3, Calc 4 as seniors. So this is our first junior class that all of them are in AP Calc BC. So this is the first time that they're going to be moving into a Calc 3, Calc 4 in their senior year. Okay. Mr. Mosaad, can you see that okay? You want to take that one?
Sure. So the admissions test, let me answer it because I know this will be a common question. The admissions test we are planning to give this year, it will be virtual. It will not be a live in-person test. The date will be sometime in December, and that will be posted on the website within the next few weeks. The format of the test will be similar to what it's been in past years, is in that it's a aptitude test of math and language arts. So the total testing time is probably about 2 hours, 2.5 hours maximum. And when I say aptitude, that means that it's not biased towards having had to study Algebra 2, for example, or a full year of geometry. The math on it is up to Algebra 1 and basic geometry. We did provide some sample questions on the website. So if you go into the FAQs page, there's a link to some sample questions. Number of questions, like I mentioned, it's roughly maybe an hour of math, an hour and a half of English and language arts, and that includes an essay. In terms of preparing, the best preparation you can do is to do well in your classes in middle school. As I mentioned, it is a test of aptitude, a very general test, and it's not. We're not expecting you to study anything in particular that you would not have normally studied in middle school.
Okay, thank you. Estimated averages needed to get into the school. I wouldn't say that there's any specific averages that you would need to get into the school. Most of our students are getting A's and B's in 7th and 8th grade. A spare C is not going to hurt you that much. A lot of it has to do with the admissions test. Obviously, we take all these other things into account as well. However, that kind of weighs, heavier. But it comes down to the interview. So when a student actually comes in to be interviewed, we have a series of questions that we ask them, Mr. Fernandez and Mr. Mosaad and I, and we usually have a student involved as well. And we want to know kind of, what they're passionate about and how they're going to fit into our learning community, how they're going to contribute to the world and help other people. So we're looking for some specific things in there to say that this is a person that is going to be really successful in our school. So there isn't any estimated averages. Okay, next question. So as far as the number of students who are accepted from each district, we don't necessarily have a requirement for that. We do provide an interview no matter what the admissions score to at least one individual from each town or sending district. We think it's important to do that because, we have had some students that have come with actually relatively low admission scores from, some towns and they have done fantastic here. So we want to make sure that there's an opportunity for lots of different students from lots of different towns to be able to participate in this school. I know it's limited. I wish we could build a bigger building and bring in more students. I'm always kind of pushing and saying, we need to add some more students in here and we need to try to find a way to do that. So, but there isn't a specific number. We do not say that one student from every town will be accepted. Okay. But every single one will be interviewed regardless of the test score. Okay. Next question. So, Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that one?
Sure. In a normal year, when you take the test in person, the admissions test, you normally would write it. If you have a reason that you need to type it, we'd allow that as well. This year, everyone will be typing it, in that it's going to be given online.
Okay, so there's two different essays. There's two different essays. There's the essay for the application, and there's also the essay that's written on the admissions test. So the admissions test essay, there'll be a prompt, and you'll kind of write about that during the admissions test. But there's also an essay involved in your application that will be limited, and it will be typed this year. Okay. Mr. Fernandez, you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. Obviously you want to do the best that you can for algebra and geometry, but our students here are mainly, like Mr. Jeffries said, receiving A's and B's. Because we are a STEM school, we're going to be looking at your science classes and your math courses. And a typical student does well, A's and B's. So that's what we'll be looking for. But also, like Mr. Jeffries said, an occasional C won't hurt you. But again, just to reiterate, we are a STEM school, so we're going to be looking a little more at your science and your math courses. So definitely say like A's and B's for the Algebra 1 and Geometry.
Yep. All right. Mr. Mosaad, I think you're going to take this one. Do you have any external consultants from the corporate world giving classes related to real professional experiences? So why don't you start, and then I'll come in.
Sure. So we mentioned, I think, in the video about our senior mentorship program. So that's a chance for senior students, 12th grade students, to have workplace experience. And we have a coordinator who helps them find that experience. We have a teacher who runs a senior seminar class during the year with them. So we do try to encourage them to get as much real world professional experience as they can. Not because they're going to go out of high school and work, go straight to Wall Street or anything, but because we want them to get adjusted to that and learn the skills that they wouldn't pick up in school. We have brought in guest speakers into the senior seminar class in the past, alumni, some people in professional environments. So if that's what you mean by consultants, yes, we have brought in outside guest speakers to address the students. And then the other piece of it is we've added some additional programming with regard to cybersecurity, say for instance. So we had a student whose parent was involved in cybersecurity organizations, local and at the state level. And we provided presentations on cybersecurity. In addition, we have a parent that works for Siemens, and she's very instrumental in bringing in a variety of different scientists to talk to students about what's going on at Siemens, but also about different topics. Anything from creating objects in a virtual space to 3D printing and kind of ways to learn about how to do that, because a lot of our students, specifically in mechanical engineering, are doing a lot of 3D printing for products that they're actually creating and learning through SolidWorks. So those connections that we have been really beneficial. Cybersecurity is a career where there is a 0% unemployment rate. So students can come out and get a job, even if that's not their forever career. They can come out and get a job doing cybersecurity coming out of college right away, just because there's such a need for it in our world where everything is moving at the speed of light, and we need to make sure that everyone's data is safe. Okay, so let's see. We're planning to move to Edison next summer. Can my son take the test staying in Monmouth County? Unfortunately, no. You would have to actually come from you'd have to be in 8th grade in Middlesex County in order to take the test and apply, because we're going to be looking for specific things from that sending district school. So it might be transcripts. Once students are selected for an interview, we usually ask for a teacher recommendation, because that may come into play between two students that we're actually looking at. So unfortunately, you're not able to take the test while living in Monmouth. And when we send out our application and make it available on October 30th,
you're going to see that that's one of the requirements in there. If you do not currently live in Middlesex County, you cannot apply, unfortunately. Okay. Next question. During virtual tests. So Mr. Mosaad is actually helping us, working with folks at our district level to kind of put together this virtual test. Obviously, during a normal year, we would have everyone come in and we would have different tests going on in person with students, with teachers in the room in various locations, whether it be in our building or in the college's buildings, to make sure that you have a safe place to take the test. Because this year we're not going to be able to do that based on COVID safety protocol. We're going to be using a program. So Mr. Mosaad, you want to talk about that?
Sure. So as mentioned earlier, this year's admissions test will be administered online, and we're taking measures, as many measures as we can, to make the test as secure as possible. We know that online testing by its nature is not as secure as in-person testing, but we will do what we can to make that happen. You will need to verify your identity. So we will be requiring students to show either a student ID or some other form of ID to verify that they are the applicant. And other measures, like I mentioned, will be taken to ensure as much fairness and security as possible.
Absolutely. So there'll be some requirements actually sent out once our test is kind of ready to go, and once we announce it. So there will be there'll be a link kind of at the end for you to click on to be able to register through a Google form so that we have your email address so that we can send out updates much more quickly. So we will actually put that into the chat at the end to make sure that you know how to do that. But that's going to be a good place to get information about the application and also about the test. All right. So we will release, timelines. We will release, all that information. Okay. How much is the weightage distributed among the middle school grades, admission test scores, and the interview? Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that?
Sure. So let me talk about the process as a whole so that you have a clear picture. So there are two phases to the process. Phase one is the application itself and the admissions test. So we're receiving from you your middle school grades, including first marking period of 8th grade. We're receiving from you standardized test scores if we request those. And we're also requesting from school counselors your attendance and discipline record. The admissions test, as we mentioned, is made up of math and English and language arts. All those criteria determine if you qualify for phase two. Phase two, as Mr. Jeffries mentioned, will roughly be about a quarter of the applicants. And phase two will be an interview and a decision after the interview. And a letter of recommendation also will be requested prior to the interview. So in terms of overall weight, I would say the admissions test is the weightiest, followed by your middle school grades, followed by standardized tests. At that point, the interview allows us to look a little more deeply into each applicant. We ask you about your interest in the school. We ask you about your activities. We ask you about your interest in STEM in general. So at that point, you'll have a chance to show us things that we could not get from your application. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yep. Okay, good. A school uniform? Absolutely not. No, we don't have a school uniform. However, we do provide some gear when the freshmen come in. We actually encourage students to wear the academy t-shirts colors on Fridays usually. But no, we have our logos and our various merchandise that we sell through our Academy Foundation, actually. And most of the freshmen will actually get a t-shirt when they come through the door, and then senior mentors or peer mentors will get t-shirts. So there's a variety of different things. The seniors actually usually get their own sweatshirts. So next one. Mr. Mosaad really helps kind of coordinate all of the internship program for the school. So I'm going to let him answer this one.
Yeah, so just to repeat, it's a senior year program that you would start looking into at the end of your junior year. And we do have a coordinator who manages it, who helps you locate opportunities. Our seniors are currently going through that right now. Obviously, it's difficult right now with COVID and so few in-person opportunities. So many of our seniors are looking for virtual internships. We actually call it a mentorship because it's an unpaid internship. In terms of your summers, let me just talk a little bit about summers in general. We, as an administration, I'm sure Mr. Fernandez would say the same thing. We encourage you to do many different activities over the summer. There are programs out there in a normal year, camps, academic, sports, otherwise, travel, things you can do over your summer other than just pure academics. So you'll get plenty of academics from September to June if you join us for the next 4 years. Use your summers to really branch out and to expand, to rest a little bit, and to expand your interests.
Yep. In addition, there's lots of opportunities in your schools. There's lots of clubs. There's lots of specific courses that you can take that when we ask you, what type of STEM involvement have you had in middle school, you have some things to tell us about. You say, I was in this club, I was in this club, I did these things, I was in math counts, I was in, the tech club. I did all these various things in middle school because this is what I'm into and this is what I really like and this is going to help me moving forward. Okay. So what is the interaction between the school and Middlesex County College? So Mr. Fernandez, you want to take that?
Yeah, I was hoping you'd throw that to me. So we have so for those that didn't catch it in the video, we're on the campus of Middlesex County College. We have a great relationship with them. We have access to a lot of their facilities. So there's a couple different aspects that I want to touch upon. So first and foremost, all the students have access to the Phys Ed Center. So like Mr. Jeffries said, and like in our video, all classes, Phys Ed classes, walk down to the Phys Ed Center. And also when the weather is warmer, we have access to the parks and the soccer fields on this campus as well. The juniors and seniors, when the college center was open, the juniors and seniors have opportunity to walk down during their lunch to use the college center. There is a couple sandwich places down there and a pizza place. So, obviously right now it is shut down, but we're looking for hopefully in the springtime to reopen, but that is, opportunity as well for the upperclassmen. Our juniors and seniors also have an opportunity to take a college course, which is huge these days. Dual enrollment is definitely becoming more and more popular with colleges. So our juniors and seniors have an elective built into their schedule. So they have the opportunity from 11 to 12:30 to go out on campus and kind of get a real feel of how the college world works. So that's definitely something that we are super proud of being at the school. Students also have the opportunity to take accelerated math courses at the college. So if students score a 5 on the AP Calculus BC exam, that means that they have exceeded our highest level of math at our school. So they have the opportunity to go out and take accelerated math courses like Calc 3s, differential equations. So there's a whole bunch out there that Middlesex County College offers. And we do have a bunch of students that are currently enrolled in those courses. So again, it is a wonderful thing being on campus of the college, and we definitely are always looking forward to improving and continue building our relationship with them.
All right, great. Next question. Let's see. What are the advantages of going to this school? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so they're asking about compared to other STEM academies. There's, of course, our Woodbridge campus, which has a different focus, and Edison and among other high schools have their own STEM academies. I think what distinguishes Edison Academy in the Middlesex County Votech schools from the others is the focus on engineering. As we mentioned, you're studying in depth for 4 years. And that's something I don't believe you'll find at any other STEM academy. Many of them are more well-rounded, you might say. So if your interest in STEM is more general, then this may or may not be the school for you. But if you are definitely interested in engineering, you will get in-depth instruction in engineering here that you will not get anywhere else. And we could say a similar thing about the Woodbridge Academy. If you're interested in health sciences, you get an in-depth background in health sciences and be around peers with the same interests that you won't find anywhere else because of the dedicated nature of our schools.
Okay. So can you apply to multiple academy/vocational schools? So generally, we have two separate academies, okay? The Woodbridge Academy and the Edison Academy. So you will have the ability to apply to one or the other, okay? You won't be able to apply to both to see which one you get into. However, we've had several students who, after going through the interview process, were on the wait list, still wanted to go to a vocational school. And we provide them information about our district and the other schools on our campus. We do have a variety of different programs to offer through our district. And we have things like a pre-engineering course at the East Brunswick campus. We have music technology. We have instructional design. We have global logistics. So we have all these different courses that have been created in our district that students might still be interested in if they're not interested in going to their regular public school. Okay. So that's another opportunity. But generally, with regard to the two academies, if you apply to one, you can't apply to the other. Okay, so you have to select which one you want. That's why it's important to kind of come to things like the open house and to sign up for some of the programming that Woodbridge is offering with regard to Zoom meetings with the guidance counselor and things like that. So you can make an informed decision about what you want to do. Okay, next question. Test for security and fairness. I guess that's for the admissions test. Mr. Mosaad?
Yeah, all instructions for the admissions test will be provided, hopefully online through the online application once it goes live. So there won't be an additional video call if that's what you mean. Will there be cameras on? That's something we're still determining for the admissions test. There is the possibility that we will require cameras to be on during the duration of the test, and we'll inform you about that if that's the case.
Yep. Let's see. What if we did not take Spanish or French in middle school? My son took Arabic in middle school. Generally, because we're such a small school, we only offer Spanish right now. Okay. I'd like to in the future try to see if I could add in Mandarin Chinese for part of the day and share it actually with the Woodbridge Academy, because a lot of our students, once they graduate, are going to be doing business with China. So that's a possibility moving forward. We only offer Spanish right now. We do provide a placement test for students once they are actually accepted. Usually it's during freshman orientation where the students will actually be tested to determine their Spanish proficiency and can start in either Spanish 2 or Spanish 1. Students that start in Spanish 2 will be able to get to Spanish 4, which is our AP Spanish course, a little bit earlier. But we have a wonderful Spanish teacher. But students also, they've been taking French for 3 years and they want to continue with that language. We encourage them to do that. Okay, when they get into when they have the availability to take college courses, they could actually take some of the languages actually there or online or a variety of different locations. So we encourage students to continue to do that. A lot of languages, something like Arabic, there may be a heritage school where you could continue to learn that possibly on the weekend to continue to grow in learning that language. Okay, next question. So clubs like Math Club will help me get with a better application. So yeah, I mean, we want to know that you have an interest in STEM, and we want you to show it during the interview process. It's not necessarily going to come into play with the application or during the admissions test. However, when we interview you, one of the questions is going to be, how are you involved in STEM right now in your middle school? Okay, what type of clubs are you in? What type of external programs are you doing on your own? If you're taking Python coding classes, if during the summer you went to some sort of a camp. We actually offered 2 camp courses through Camp Middlesex this year, where we had a Shark Tank camp, and we had what was the other one, Mr. Mosaad? Coding?
Digital circuits.
Digital circuits and a Shark Tank camp. So there's lots of opportunities out there. Make sure you find some of those things to get involved with. Now, the summer's already passed. However, there's lots of things virtually that you can participate in. Our students are able to find a variety of different things to actually participate in to get that experience. And that experience is really, really important kind of coming in. So, but being in math club is not going to hurt you for sure. Okay, Math Counts is a big organization. That was just one that I, came up with because a lot of students actually in middle school are involved in something like that. Okay, next question. We do not serve lunches. If you saw during the video, we showed the commons, and there were students actually using microwaves to heat up their food. During a normal school year, however, we would have pizza twice a week, cheese pizza, no meat, twice a week, and different classes will actually sell pizza as a fundraiser. So in addition, we have other clubs that will run a fiesta lunch, breakfast for lunch. We had an all cheese lunch, which was very exciting. In addition to that, there are, Taco Bell things where the students will actually order from Taco Bell and go and pick it up, or have DoorDash deliver it, and they will sell that. So there's a variety of different, options for that during a normal school year. However, during this year, students are bringing their lunch. They have assigned seats. They're sitting and eating their lunch. But generally, they're eating the food that they like to eat. Okay, so as we start to transition more and more students back, and we get to a point where we can safely have these types of events, we'll have them again. Are there classes for arts like orchestra, band, and art? So we don't have any classes because the engineering takes up, 2 periods a day or a full block every day. We don't have the room to actually fit it in the schedule. However, the arts are actually taught through our English classes, through theater, through set production, through performances. We do have an orchestra club. We also have a musical performance club, and they will, they were putting together a large musical performance with music from The Greatest Showman for prior to us going out for quarantine. We do have a jazz band that actually our one engineering teacher oversees. So we understand that students are currently playing an instrument. They sing, they play a drum, they do a specific type of traditional dance. We understand all that, and we want them to contribute. We want them to continue to do that because I think it's beneficial for them to kind of excite those parts of the brain that only arts can do. One of the reasons we actually added in the makerspace was to continue to give students an opportunity to be creative, because that's going to be really important moving forward. All right. We have had students that have, asked to be excused for their piano recital, for their to prepare for their traditional Indian dance, to prepare for a violin recital. So that would all be excused. We've also have students participate in their local marching bands. All right. Marching band is a really good thing because we have a way to kind of figure that out, and we can excuse them from school to be able to participate in that. And it gives them a way to connect to their home district and people in their home district. So I think that that's really important. Okay, next question. All right, Amanda Ferrari. Let's see. What type of resources are offered if students struggle with certain subjects? For example, tutoring and office hours. Mr. Fernandez.
Sure. Obviously one thing we want to build upon at our school is communication. How we going to know if you're struggling besides if teacher reaches out to us. But There are a number of resources that students take advantage of at our school. Our teachers, for example, they do have extra hours or after hours for the office hours. They will post that on their Google Classroom, and that's always encouraged to attend if you're definitely struggling. We all are looking to grow and move forward as one. So we want to make sure that there is a level of trust built between you and the teacher. If that is something that you're struggling with, that's where I kind of come into play. I can help, kind of advocate for you. But as far as resources, we have something called Academic Achievers. That is upperclassmen who are always looking to help out our freshmen and sophomores that are struggling as far as tutoring. Like I said before, the teachers also have extra hours. So there's always somewhere to go if you're struggling, and there's always someone willing to extend an extra hand. You just got to know where to look, but just never be afraid to ask questions. And there's always help at the Academy.
So let me just jump in here with regard to, we have received funding through the CARES Act, grant funding for teachers to actually provide additional help in the evening. So both of our engineering teachers, several of our math teachers are actually providing help, and our science teachers providing help in the evening and being compensated for that. So part of this is that during these times, it's very difficult because we have teachers teaching students that are in front of them, students that are online, sometimes at the same time. And it's very difficult to grasp some of these concepts. So this grant money is provided really to provide that extra little bit. It's called extended day because it's really to provide a time for our teachers to give that extra help. If you're struggling, it's better to let us know as soon as you start to struggle. Okay. Mr. Fernandez is really good about getting you the resources and connecting you with the people that are going to give you the most amount of help. The other part of it is that I talk about small learning community a lot because it's really important to me, and it's important to the success of this school, because this is not every man for himself, okay, or every woman for themselves. It's about bringing everyone up together. That if your classmate is struggling, I expect you to reach out to them and say, how can I help you? Not to step on top of them and say, I did so much better than you. That's really important to me because that's how this school continues to grow and get better. Okay. Next question. How exactly will the wait list work, Mr. Mosaad?
Sure. So as I mentioned about the 2 phases of the process, so if you are invited to an interview at the conclusion of phase 1, then at the minimum, you will be placed on the wait list. If you're accepted, obviously, that's even better. If you paid attention to the numbers, we accept over 40 students. We interview close to 120 students. So there are probably twice as many students on the wait list as there are who are accepted. So is it likely you'll come off the wait list? Probably not. But is it possible? Definitely. Every year, students come off the wait list and are accepted to the school either in the spring or the summer, sometimes even later. So you would have to have applied this year, been interviewed to be on the wait list. So when students come in 9th grade or 10th grade seeking to transfer, unfortunately, we can't accommodate transfers. The only transfers would be students off the wait list.
Absolutely. Okay. So while we'd like to offer spots to as many students as possible, we also take into account, the diversity within the county. So if we have 100 students that apply from one specific district, obviously we're looking at, balancing male, female, and various districts. So that's also very important. Okay, next question. How does the school work this year? Are you using virtual or hybrid model, thinking about next year, just in the year this COVID situation continues? So that's a really great question because we've been making it work. Now, currently we have around 25% of our student body in the building. Most of the students that are there are actually in the 9th grade. So that's our highest percentage. We have around 75% of our freshman class is actually there in person. So towards the end of the summer, we actually reached out to all of our parents and said, we need you to commit to a marking period. and let us know if you want to be virtual or if you want to be in person for that marking period, because in-person students, we need to set up the transportation. We need to contact your home district, which provides the transportation, to say this student's coming every day. We need them to have a bus, okay? We also need to plan certain classes. So there's some classes where it's a full virtual class, right? So if we have 2 sections of English, say for instance, one might be full virtual, the other one might have students actually sitting in the class in front of the teacher, as well as students that are meeting virtually. Some classes are what's referred to as synchronous. So all of our engineering classes are synchronous. There are students sitting in the room in addition to students online. And it's very difficult for our teachers to be able to do that, right? With our freshman English and our history classes, the way we have it set up is those teachers wanted an in-person section and a virtual section. So we took all those students that are in person and put them into one section. In order to do that, we needed to use some of the rooms or one of the buildings near our campus because it had a large lecture hall. So we have a large lecture hall with those 28 or 30 students that are in there learning for an in-person section. So we have really a variety of different things going on. So with all that said, at the end of October, we're going to reach out to the parents again and say, we need you to commit to the second marking period and let us know what you want to do. Right now, we're under the 50% threshold as the state guidance requires. So right now, we can go to school every single day for the entire day, okay? Normal school day. However, once we break the 50% threshold, we're going to have to go to some sort of a hybrid model where students are coming, 2 days in a row, and then they're virtual for 2 days, and so on and so forth. So, which is typical right now in this climate. And I believe that this will be the case for the remainder of this year until a vaccine becomes readily available. And the state says, it's time to go back to school, everyone to go back to school. So, we're moving in that direction, but it can't just happen in, one move. It has to be phases. Okay, next question. Sports teams. Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that?
Sure. So the only sports team that we field as a school is soccer. And we do have both varsity and JV soccer teams that are officially boys teams. They play in the fall, but they are co-ed. So girls can join the soccer team. If you do play any other sports that you want to continue in high school at the team level, that's something you'd arrange between your coach at your local school and our administration. So certain accommodations can be made. We can excuse you for games and competitions and tryouts. Most of the time, it's not possible to excuse you from school to attend every practice because our school day ends at 3:30, and that would usually conflict with most practices that are immediately after school. So we definitely have students in different that go to different districts to play different sports: tennis, swimming, basketball, field hockey. We've had different sports.
Ice hockey.
Ice hockey. We've had students play different sports at their home schools. So that's something we could talk about more later in the process.
Absolutely, and some of the sports that you mentioned, like swimming and ice hockey, and are not right after school at the home district. So they're easier to accommodate. Marching band, for instance, is not directly right after school. There may be competitions on the weekends. We've also had students actually participate in several local robotics teams or their home robotics team. So like North Brunswick, for example, has a powerhouse FIRST robotics team. We have several students that attend, that live in North Brunswick, that want to continue with that team, and we make accommodations to make sure that they can, because I think that that's really important. Okay, next question. Students allowed to take AP chemistry in 10th grade instead of chemistry honors. So one of the things that we're moving towards, and our new science teacher actually has a doctorate in organic chemistry. So we are going to be moving to, assuming we get district approval, to add AP chemistry for the sophomores. When I first came in, there were a few AP courses, but every year I've tried to add them in. We can't add them all in at once. It has to be a phased approach. But yeah, that's actually the plan. So the current freshmen this year will likely be taking AP chemistry next year. Okay. Because our students can actually learn at that level. We actually added in an additional course this year because our new science teacher has been published, numerous times for various papers. We've added in an honor science research course where students have the ability to do true science, applied science in their senior year and compete in competitions like the Rutgers Junior Science and Humanities Fair. While a lot of them might be online this year, we have our students actually doing and learning about scientific research from a real scientist that is now with us. Okay, next question. If someone joins at later stages of admissions, how can they cope with the rest of the students? I'm not sure what that means. Anyone?
I think
Maybe
they
getting
mean
pulled off the
transfer.
wait list.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Fernandez, you
Oh,
wanna
I
talk
see. Yeah, I think that we have that all the time. We have a current junior that came in the mid-year of his junior year. In addition, we have a student that's currently a junior that came in as a sophomore. And, because this school is a little different than most schools in the sense that it is a very, tight-knit group. And I think one of the students in the video spoke about it, that it's kind of very family-like. That they welcome them with open arms and they help get them up to speed. And it's really nice to see that our kids have the ability to kind of bring someone in, make them part of the crew, and then all of a sudden everyone just forgets that they came in later on during the year or in their sophomore year, because they're just part of that class. Okay, next question. Everyone takes AP Bio in freshman year. Absolutely. So, and we expect them to take the test. Next question. Let's see. How would the exploratory program work if you joined the school in a later year than freshman? Generally, it depends on, and it's very rare that a student would come in their sophomore year. It really depends on if there's an open space for them to be able to come in. But if they come in, generally we'll look at the two engineering career majors and say, this is going to be the best place for them to kind of get up to speed with regard to engineering. The other subject matter, a lot of them have already had a lot of these courses when they're coming in. So it's just a matter of continuing. We have had to do some things with specialized schedule based on what they took as a freshman, moving forward, but we try to get them equalized with everyone else to finish out the remainder of their time with us. Next question. What time does school start every day? So our homeroom starts at 8:45. We have a little bit of a later start. It's a little bit delayed compared to some students. I know my daughter's school starts at 7:20, which is really early. She's also done earlier to allow for sports and clubs and things like that. But because we share a lot of the same buses with other districts, and some of the districts actually use their own buses to provide transportation to the students that come from those towns to our school, that we kind of have to stagger it a little bit, or we'd be starting at 5:30 in the morning, which I think might be too early for everybody. But I think that's a lot of where it comes from. So 8:45. However, we do have buses showing up, buses and vans showing up as early as 8 o'clock, 5 minutes to 8, all the way up, and the students hang in the commons. They work on homework, things like that, and then at 8:45, they're in homeroom to hear announcements and then move on to their first period or first block class. Next question. In what format interview takes place? What are you looking for from the interview? I kind of talked about this already, so if you want to go back and kind of review some of that stuff, the format that we've been using in the past. Now we'll see how we do it this year, because it might be a little bit different because we can't have people coming in the school. A lot of outside people coming in. Usually the way we do it is we have all the we have 2 students at a time and their parents come into the conference room. We have a discussion, kind of a general discussion about the school. And then the parents will sit and wait while a student visits, goes into Mr. Fernandez's office and one goes into mine. And Mr. Mosaad will also be part of that, either with Mr. Fernandez or myself. We've also had students involved, specifically senior students, to come in, and we want to make sure that there's several pairs of eyes that might kind of pick out something from a specific student that maybe I might miss, that a senior student might catch and say, you know, this is a student and that we may want to have come here. So, you know, we have a set of questions that we ask to both sets of students, you know, in both locations to the students. And then we kind of look at that after the fact and come up with a decision. Okay. So as far as like what we're looking for, I talked a little bit about it before. It's not just that you have straight A's across the board. It's that it's someone that's going to be interested in STEM and engineering. It's going to be someone that is, you know, giving back to their community in some way as well, because that's what we're going to be looking for with our students. Next question. Dress code for the interview. We've had all kinds of different people coming in with different things during the interview. Some people in a suit and jacket. Some folks, you know, in more casual clothes. We're not really concerned about what you look like. We're concerned about what you have to say and you know, how you present yourself going forward. Sometimes this is their first real interview for some of these students that they've gone through. They're scared going in. However, we very quickly make them feel comfortable because we really want to know about them and what their interests are and where they want to go in life. Okay, next question. School suitable if you want to focus more on medical sciences. Well, if you saw Anjali Bothra, she talked a little bit about the fact that, you know, she learned a lot about engineering and she's actually going into the medical field. Bart also talked about the fact that he's learning biology. So we have a variety of students that actually come here for the rigor of the school and to learn, you know, how to think like an engineer, because I think that helps you moving forward when you're looking at various careers. We've have several students that have decided that they want to go into business and entrepreneurship and like inventing things, or you know, entrepreneurial studies from here. And so we have a decent portion of our students that actually go into those types of things. We provide the engineering, we provide the school, we provide the environment. All the students are laser focused and you know, focused on school. And I think that's the one difference about our school that's different, that we generally don't have any kind of disciplinary problems. We, you know, every once in a while we might have a couple little things where, you know, they're still children, they're still teenagers, so we expect that. But generally people are focused on learning in school, and all that other stuff is just doesn't get in the way. Next question. How the school helps students with transition from middle school to high school. So Mr. Fernandez, why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, I'll take that. So, you know, always want to make sure that there is some type of, you know, program in place for students to, you know, take that leap from middle school to high school, because it's definitely a big step. So we have a peer mentor program. It's consistent of juniors and seniors, and they are, you know, it's a great program where we reach out to the freshmen and, you know, we share contact info with them, and that way they have someone to talk to all year with questions, or, you know, like we talked about before, struggling in the classroom. But the main thing is we have a freshman orientation program. In a normal school year, we would have, you know, invite the freshmen into our school. We have, you know, integrated presentations. But this year we did a virtual one. It was very, very successful. Very proud of our peer mentors. And we do presentations, you know, a little bit on everything, on what, you know, what to expect at the academy. There's a whole engineering aspect of what you're going to, you know, be able to be learning at our school. There is a little bit of a, you know, social, emotional presentations as far as social media. What else did we have there? We did a little bit with, you know, study habits and time management. So we want to make sure that you guys are have all these criteria ready to go when you start freshman year. But yeah, we definitely want to make sure that your son or daughter is comfortable on that first day of at the academy.
All right, next question. Any more questions? So there's a couple in here. I can just go through them because I'm looking at them here. A rubric for the admissions essay, absolutely. They use a rubric, and we have multiple people actually look at that. That's on the admissions test. Your essay that you'll see on the application is not going to be something that's going to be graded, but we do want to hear about kind of why you want to go to the school, and why you're interested in this, and why you want to go through this process. And let's see. Do colleges look at GPA from the academy and the same as any high school, or do they look any different? Look at differently as there are more rigorous courses?
I can take that.
Yep.
So our GPA, we report weighted GPA only. So there's a weighted and unweighted. So what weighted means is that colleges are looking at the level of difficulty of the courses. So at our school, we have a very rigorous curriculum. The majority of the courses are on an AP or honors level. So, colleges are going to be looking a little differently coming from, our school specifically, because of these students are taking challenging courses, and colleges look at something called strength of schedule. So they want to see that from freshman year to senior year, you're taking challenging courses every single year. And that's something that we do very well with at our school. So there shouldn't be, too much of a problem with looking at something called that strength of schedule.
Okay, good. And there's a couple questions about how challenging are the courses that you provide. I mean, I said it a little bit in the video that, rigor is the first one, that the courses are tough, and that you're going to be spending a lot of time learning them, and they're going to be a little more intense than what you would get at a traditional public school, even the honors level. We try to move students into AP as quickly as possible, because I think that they can understand at that level. But most of the classes are pretty rigorous, including PE. I often say that we have honors PE because our PE teachers, they make sure that you understand kind of all the aspects of that being physically active. Let's see. The essays on the application won't count for admission. I don't think we actually look at, we're going to look at it. We're not going to grade it on the admissions application. There will be an essay that you write as part of the admissions test. That will be an open prompt that you write, because we want to know that you have that ability to do that. That will be graded using a rubric. Okay. Let's see. Do you have any innovation or entrepreneurship clubs? Rich, you want to take that?
We, as far as there's a variety of different clubs. One thing we're known for is having a lot of clubs. So there are, I like to say, a different interests all across the board. One thing that comes to mind is our investment society club. That was created 3 years ago, and the students to kind of understand, stocks and bonds and economics and stuff like that. But as far as entrepreneurship clubs, I might be just having a moment here, but I'm not really thinking of any.
Well, I would say that, right. I would say that FBLA has entrepreneurship as part of it. Future Business Leaders of America has entrepreneurship presentations that they do in there. The Investment Society is also a group of students that participates in Fed Challenge. They participated in Fed Challenge last year. I actually am the advisor for that club because I think it's important to have that kind of aspect of our school. So that's why I take the time to help them with everything that they do with regard to stock market challenges and Fed Challenge and things like that. But yeah, I think that those are two big ones. We also have startups. which is a club that mainly does hackathons and things, but they also talk about business startups and things like that. One of our seniors last year actually started it, and a couple of our seniors actually were part of a. They had their own business where they were selling bubble tea, and they still run it. I think it's called Spill the Tea if you're looking to buy some bubble tea. And let's see. What you want to choose one more? Male-female ratio of applicants. I would say that of the applicants, it's probably weighted a little more male at this academy, where at the Woodbridge Academy, it might be a little more female. However, when we look at the students that we're bringing in as freshmen, we do want to have a mixture of both male and female. Okay. And let's see. Next question. Does the school have dual admission like the Woodbridge Academy? So, Mr. Fernandez, you want to talk about the college scholarship?
Yeah, I'm happy that came back up because there's a couple points that I forgot to make. So yeah, the college does offer a dual enrollment program. There's something called High School Scholars Program, so students are able to take college courses at a discounted rate. I do believe it's $125. So students can take courses on campus, but also we have in-house courses that also serve as dual enrollment. So Mr. Mosaad teaches linear algebra, so students have the option to pay for that course and receive not only high school credit, but also college credit as well. And then another course that's approved for dual enrollment is pre-calculus taught by Ms. Gomes. So there are a lot of opportunities to get college credit, and we've had 2 students in the past graduate with their high school diploma, but also with their associates. So we are super proud of them, but there are a lot of opportunities to get a lot of college credit under your belt while your 4 years at our school at the Academy.
Okay, good. So there's a question here. My child is interested in becoming a doctor. Is this the school she should choose over our district's high school? So the Woodbridge Academy, its main goal is allied health and biomedical sciences. So they're going to provide a better kind of pre-med than us. However, we've had students that have come to us and then gone into a 7-year med program directly from our school. So it really depends. They're both very rigorous schools. They have, I consider Woodbridge our sister school, and I think that they just have a different focus than us, but you may want to consider that school over our school. Students are going to be in engineering for 90 minutes a day for 4 years. So we don't want you to be miserable in engineering if you want to become a doctor, and you know that right now. Okay. You're going to be learning and be expected to excel in engineering. Okay. Let's see the next question. Social media community to have productive interaction among students with futuristic perspective. Yeah. There are levels upon levels upon levels of WeChat, WhatsApp, Facebook groups for individual classes, Facebook groups for, like an entire grade, Facebook groups for people in specific clubs. And now, because all the clubs are meeting online, there's even a higher level of specificity with regard to the way that students communicate with each other. We have a school-wide Google Classroom that we put stuff out on. Every teacher uses Google Classroom, and there's a chat function kind of within that and ways to post about different courses in there. So there's lots of ways that students communicate with each other, even outside of school. And let's see, colleges students get into. I know Mr. Fernandez talked about some of the schools that our students get into with regard to last year: UCLA, Berkeley, NYU, Chicago. We have a lot of students going to
Princeton.
Cornell. What was the other one? University of Illinois, Georgia Tech, Princeton last year. So a variety of different schools. It's really, everyone's so focused on what's the name of the school that I'm going to be going to, right? It's more about what programs are offered actually at those individual schools, the programs that are going to best fit your needs and what you want to do in life. You could go to a school because of the name, but they might not have a great program in, say, mechanical engineering if that's what you want to do. All right. However, they have a great program in finance, or they have a great program in something else. So it's really, that's kind of what Mr. Fernandez does for you, is help you figure out where you want to go based on what you want to do in life and what you might be interested in. And it's not necessarily about the name of the school or how much it costs or anything like that. It's about what you want to do and what best fits your needs. Is it a big school? Is it a small school? Is it a school that's very specialized? Is it a school that, offers a lot of extra supports? Is it a school that, provides a lot of opportunities for co-ops and work experience? So you have to look at all those different pieces when you're making your decision. And coming in 8th grade, things will change. You'll say, hey, I'm planning to go to this school, and I'm going to study this. And by the time you get to your senior year, you might be going in a different path because of one thing that changed your direction. So keep an open mind, because there's a lot of different things. I was planning to be a doctor. I was planning to go pre-med, and I became a science teacher, and now a principal. So, you never know where you're going to end up. So let's take a couple more, and then we're going to kind of wrap up. This stream is going to be available for you if you want to go back and watch it. In addition, we're also going to be putting individual video clips on our website so that you can watch different sections of it, so that you can take a look at what's here as well, because I think it's important for folks to have access to this that maybe could not join us today. With regard to our application, I do want to add in that our application will be available on October 30th. Okay. The application is due October 30th, and we have a company that we've contracted with to provide an online application. With the current status of COVID-19 and students actually learning virtually, we are one of two districts that are actually open for in-person instruction right now in Middlesex County, or open from the beginning of the school year. So I understand a lot of people are home learning virtually. That will start to transition. But as we build our application in this online program, it's going to be important for you to communicate with your guidance counselors to be able to get information back and forth. And a paper application does not make sense for us this year. So that's why we're kind of waiting a little bit for this company to finish up this online application. The testing will be online. Likely the interviews will be online in a Google Meet or a Zoom format or something like that. Just want to get you prepared for those things. All right. October 30th, we will let you know the direction that we're going with our application. All right. And it will be released. That's why it's important for you to sign up for that Google form that we put the link, and we're going to put it in the comments at the end so that you can click on it and sign up to receive alerts about the application, about anything that might be needed, about the test, about the testing dates, things like that. Usually we do the testing the first Saturday of December. All right. That may change. It may be the second Saturday. It depends. Okay, so we will release all that information, but just know that the application will be open and available October 30th, and it will be due November 30th, which is a Monday. All right, and all that information is on our website. Okay. Anything else that we may have forgotten, gentlemen, that we want to add in?
Go ahead, Mr. Mosaad.
I was just going to say, if you have not checked out our website, make sure to check out our website, mcvts.net/Edison. You'll find academics listed there. You'll find all the clubs listed there. You'll find application information. Like we mentioned, there will be a form you could fill out to get an alert when the application is ready. So that should be your first stop, is the website. And we certainly hope to have more opportunities in the future to speak with you. And we appreciate your interest in the school.
I just want to add just one thing. For students that are going to be applying, just make sure you talk to your middle school counselor. If they have not told you yet about the choices you have after 8th grade, just make sure that you talk to him or her about these choices. And if you definitely are interested in applying, make sure you let him or her know, because there is a section for the counselors. We want to make sure that they are going to have enough time to give us the proper materials for our schools. So make sure you talk to your counselors if you have not done so already.
Yep, absolutely. So I want to thank Mr. Fernandez for really doing all the filming and serving as the director for the video that we showed. I want to thank all the people that actually participated in and gave their time. The alumni came back and gave their time. The teachers gave their time. Mr. Mosaad gave his time to actually put that together, because I think it's important for us moving forward that we, put something out there so that people understand how wonderful this school is. It absolutely is. And I want to thank my daughter, Jocelyn, who served as our moderator here, who helped edit the video, and will continue to kind of work on it post-production, for her help and expertise in this as well. So, and if anyone has any additional questions that you didn't feel were answered and you want to reach out to me, my email is actually on the website for you to be able to send an email to. And that's really the best way to get me, because of the way things are right now. I'm, constantly moving. But I will get back to you on it and let you know. And if you need to set up a time to have a conversation, we can talk as well. Okay. Because I think it's important that we communicate with each other, because this is a difficult time to do that. Normally, you would be standing and hearing me talk. You would be seeing the school. You would be learning about engineering from the engineering teachers or from students. You would hear about clubs. So our open house usually has 700 or 800 people, sometimes 900 people that actually come through our school on that day. So this is not the same as that. So I understand that there may still be some questions, and if you didn't get your questions answered, feel free to email me, okay? And we will keep an eye on this chat as well, okay? So everyone, have a great rest of your Saturday. It's beautiful. Get outside, get some fresh air. Mr. Fernandez, Mr. Mosaad, thank you so much for giving your time this morning. Be well. Take care, everyone.